part 7 on how to play the electric bass. We're going to go through some actually how to play some specific notes. So turn to page 46 and 47 in your Axon Achievement Book 1 for electric bass. This is page 46 in your book, and it talks about tuning the bass. And go ahead and read through that section in your book. And if you have any questions about that, come talk to me, and we'll go over that a little bit more in class. Also, you'll see there's a little diagram of the head of the bass and the neck a little bit, and it shows you first fret, second fret, third fret, fourth fret, and fifth fret. It also shows you the names of the strings, E, A, D, G, right there. And then over here, there's another little diagram here, and it talks about if you have like a little zero above one of these, well, and I'll show you on a fingering chart in a second, then that means you play the open string. And if you have like a 1 or a 2 or a 3 or 4, that refers to those numbers like we talked about before. 1 being your index finger, 2 your middle finger, 3 your ring finger, and 4 your little finger, your pinky. Okay, so we'll show you that on the next page. This is page 47, and right here at the top, you'll see this D, and that's that open D that we played earlier on one of the previous videos. And you'll see here that this little fingering chart tells us a couple of things. Number one, it tells us the name of the note. It also tells us where the note is on the staff. In this case, it's on the third line. The D is going to be on the third line. And then it also shows us how to play it on the guitar. Now, this represents the guitar. This represents the bass guitar as if you're looking at it like this. So here's where your tuning pegs are in the head, and then you've got the fretboard. And so when it says D, it's talking about this note right here, and it has a 0. So right here, there's a 0 above it. They're saying to play that string without pushing your finger on any frets. So that's how you play the D. The next note we're going to learn is the E flat. That's this one here. And it tells us E flat. It shows us that it's on the third space. Has a flat sign in front of it, and we'll talk more. Flat sign means it lowers that note a half step compared to this note where it's the E. This is E flat. And then it has a 1, a number 1 on the string where you'd push it on the fret. So that means you're going to use your first finger on that one. Okay, so first finger on the first fret. And then we're going to learn an F, and the F is on the fourth line. Like we talked about in one of the previous videos about that F clef and the 2 dots. So you'll see that there that is. That really is an F on that fourth line. And you're going to use your third finger, because there's a 3 on there, on the third fret, on the D string. Okay? So the E flat and the D and the F are all being played on the D string. But the E flat's with your first finger, the F with your third finger, the D open. Okay, turn to page 6 in your book, and we're going to start with exercise number 1. And as we talked about in video 6, or in part 6, as you look at exercise number 1 on page 6, you'll see lots of highlighted sections. And so let's talk about the first thing, and that is the D. If you look up in the top of page 6, you'll see that yellow box. Shows you that D. It says to play it open with no fingers. So that's this note here. That's how you play the D. Okay? Then the next one you'll see is a blue highlighted section talking about a whole note. So you look at the section, you actually see in that blue box a whole note and a whole rest. And so the whole note means to play sound for 4 counts or 4 beats. Okay? So the beat or count is the tempo with which we're going. We could be going this fast or faster or slower. Okay? It's not a specific tempo. But it just means 4 of those beats of whatever tempo we're going. So it would be like this. Ta, that long. So if I were to play it on here, you'd go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the end. Okay, so that'd be the whole note. Okay? The whole rest is the same thing, 4 counts, because the whole note gets 4 counts of sound. The whole rest gets 4 counts of silence. So you just count 4 beats of silence in that whole rest. Okay, so as I play, I'm going to count out loud. When we're playing in band, we're going to be counting in our heads, and we're not going to all count out loud. It wouldn't work for most instruments in that class anyways, but But we're going to play number 1, starting on that D. Remember to alternate fingers. So you're going to start with your first finger, and then your middle finger on the next note. Okay? Here we go. Let's try it. Exercise number 1. 1, 2. Oh, I forgot to mention. So you should look at your note as you play them. Okay? Don't just look around the room. So I'm going to turn my chair so it's facing my music stand right here. And I'm going to make sure that I'm following my notes. Here we go. 1, 2, exercise 1, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's the end, because there's a double bar there at the end of that exercise. So make sure you're following along, know where we're at in the book. So if you have any questions about that, please contact me, let me know. Okay, 4 counts for the whole note, 4 counts for the whole rest, and we're playing a D, which is your open D string, which is this string right here, second thickest one. Okay. Okay, next exercise is number 2. We're going to learn the E flat. Now this time we're going to have to push our finger down on the fret. And the way we do that, and it's first finger, as you look in the top of your page, it has your circle with a 1 on it, meaning your first finger. And it goes on that D string right next to the fret. Okay, let's try that. So you have the D, this is the D, then the E flat. See, that's a little bit higher. So now, if I put my finger too far away from the fret, you might get a sound like this. Because what's happening is that string is vibrating against that metal fret. And what you want it to do is you want the string to stop vibrating right at that point. So you hold your finger right behind the fret, just barely behind it, so that it gets a nice clear sound. Okay? So we're going to play, and then keep these other fingers here, and just over the strings, but don't have them on there, or it won't work. It'll dampen. So let's try exercise number 2. It says going up, because we're going up a little bit in pitch to the next note. And they're all E flats, but there's a different number of them than number 1. So make sure you're following your notes, you're looking at them. Let's try it. 1, 2, number 2, here we go. 2, 3, 4, rest. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Rest. 2, 3, 4, and that's the end. Okay? So make sure you're alternating those fingers. Getting used to playing with both fingers. Don't get stuck playing with only one finger, because then we're going to play something really fast at some point, and you're not going to be able to do it because you don't know how to use your other fingers. So use both fingers. Number 3 is using both the D and the E flat. So open D, E first fret on the D string, E flat. Okay? And you got to know by looking at it. Now, don't write in note names. Okay? If you can look at the letter D and know what to play, you should be able to look at a different symbol. Just associate that other symbol with it. Okay? So let's play number 3. Starts with the D. Okay? And here we go. 1, 2, D, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest is going to go to the E flat. Ready, go. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Rest. 2, and then the D. 2, 3, 4, and that's the end, because there's a double. Oh, there's another rest. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. That's the end. Okay. But we didn't have any more notes, so it's all good. Okay. Then number 4, we have the F, which now we learned open D, we learned E flat. Now the F is going to go third finger on the 3rd fret. Okay, it's way up there. So you got to stretch that finger. It's helpful to keep that finger there if you're going up the scale, so you can go right back down it. Okay, so keep that finger there if you can. Now, if your hands are just a little bit small, you might have to shift a little bit to get up there. But if you can keep your finger there, that'd be the best, because then you don't have to you don't have to guess where that finger goes next. Okay. So number 4 says watch those rests, because there's something going on with the rests in this one. So make sure you're following along. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, number F. Here we go. Number F. 1, 2, number 4. Here we go. F, 2, 3, 4, and rest. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and rest. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and rest. 2, 3, 4, and rest. 2, 3, 4. Last note. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the end. Okay. So there's those 2 rests right in a row there. If you messed up on there, pause the video or take the video back and do it again. And you can do that on all of these exercises. You can rewind the video. Well, it's not really rewind. Click back on the video and do it several times until you got it down, and then go to the next video. Okay. Number 5 is going to use all 3 notes. So as I talked about when they're learning the F, practice playing the D, the E flat, F, keeping that finger down on the E flat, back to the E flat and the D. Okay. If you can do that, then you can play everything on page 6 and 7, because those are the only 3 notes that we have on this whole 2 pages. Okay. So number 5, we start with the D, and we go up and then back down. Let's try it. 1, 2, number 5, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, the E flat, next finger. 2, 3, 4, rest. 2, and the F, next finger. 2, 3, 4, rest. 2, back to the E flat, go. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, then the D. 2, 3, 4, and that's the end because of the double bar line. Okay? So that's number 5. Now number 6 has 2 notes in a row, and for the electric bass it's really not complicated. It's just, it starts on an F, so I'll show you on the F. It goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you just do it again. 2, 3, 4. Careful not to stop it too soon. I kind of actually did. So you're going to pluck it, 2, 3, keep your finger above it, and then go again. Okay? Don't go like this and then put your finger on it and wait and then count again. Right? You want to keep that tone going for the whole time if it's a whole note. Right? So that's kind of how that goes. Real easy. Let's try number 6. 1, 2 starts on the F. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have a rest. 2, whole rest. E flat. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then rest. 2, 3. The D. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the end. Okay? So, if you have any questions about any of those things, you know how to get a hold of me. I've said it a few times in the videos. Comment on the video, email me, or talk to me in class. Also, use your resources like we've talked about. You've got the book. It has all of the notes written down in there, as well as a bunch of definitions on the top of the page, as well as page 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 has a lot of information in it for you to learn. So use your resources there, just right there. Okay? But also, you've got email, you can get a hold of me. You've got YouTube videos besides this one. There's all kinds of other YouTube videos on how to play the bass. And so you got lots of resources in that way. And then also talk to me in class. Come and ask me questions, and we'll work through it. So use your resources, learn a lot of things. Join me on our last video, video 8. It'll be finishing up this pre-series, this beginning series on how to play the electric bass. And join me on that one, and we'll finish it up. See you then.